A quick video today with 5 strange Aussie death facts to make you think and annoy your relatives with. Give us a like if you find this video interesting. Now let's talk strange Aussie death facts. The funeral industry is unregulated. Okay, so it's very slightly regulated and has virtually no inspection. Yes, there is a code of conduct, ethics code, a couple of finance and hygiene laws, but nothing really solid. Additionally, each state has different laws. Now, having an unregulated funeral industry isn't unique. It's like that in many countries, including the USA, but we don't seem to have the big funeral home scandals that they do. So why isn't it heavily regulated? I would assume because most people automatically think that it is, and the government suddenly spending time amending these laws would bring light to the fact that it's not. And quite frankly, they don't think it's important. Yes, there are some issues in our funeral industry, but regulation without inspection won't fix them. In the description, I'll put a link to a reply that one funeral director had to the government about all of this, and it's a very interesting read. Voluntary assisted dying in Northern Territory. Many of us think that voluntary assisted dying laws are new in Australia, or at least those that even know that we have those laws. Did anyone notice how quiet they were when passing them? Well, in our video about all of this, we mentioned that we did sort of have it long ago, kinda. In 1955, the Northern Territory legislated voluntary assisted dying, making it the first jurisdiction in the world to do so. The laws came into force in mid-1996. And around the same time, a federal Liberal MP by the name of Kevin Andrews introduced a private member's bill in the Commonwealth Parliament that would ban territories from legislating for voluntary assisted dying. And yes, he was exactly the kind of politician that comes to mind when you think about what kind of selfish bellend would do such a thing. The Andrews Bill passed in 1997, about 9 months after the Northern Territory laws came into force. In this time, 4 people had already made use of the laws, showing that it was needed. 25 years later, and the Northern Territory has still never regained those laws back. Your will doesn't have to be lodged. If you've tried doing any kind of legal paperwork in your life, you'll be aware how many hurdles they want you to jump over, how many things need to be signed, and how many departments you have to visit in order to get it done. It's all very frustrating, but not so with your will. You don't have to lodge it anywhere. You just have to have it somewhere and make sure to tell people that it's there and hope that they remember when you're dead. It's all very vague. Now, yes, you can give it to the public trustee to hold on to, but that doesn't make it any more valid. It's just stored better and for a price. Suicide was illegal until recently. Back in ye olde England, the act of killing oneself was considered a crime against God and the king, who had an interest in preserving his subjects. And of course, Australia took on many of the same laws when they showed up here. But England itself decriminalised suicide in 1961, and it was only in 1967 that Victoria decriminalised it, 1983 in New South Wales and South Australia, 1990 in the ACT, and 1996 in Northern Territory. It should be noted that suicide was never a criminal offence in Queensland, Western Australia and Tasmania. Also keep in mind that there are many countries today where suicide is still illegal, being punished by corporal punishment or jail terms. Disturbing a funeral. In South Australia, obstructing or disturbing a wedding, funeral or religious service is an offence that carries a maximum fine of $10,000 or 2 years imprisonment under Section 7A of the Summary Offences Act of 1953. Makes you wonder what kind of person would disrupt a funeral, but at least South Australia has got the matter legally covered. Let us know what your favourite fun death fact is in the comments. More points if it's a ridiculous law of some kind. That's all from Gary and I here today. Now go talk death.